Coach, what was the biggest difference you saw in Game 4 in contrast to Game 3? I mean, the ones that really stood out the most, the ones that you may have hammered most in practice leading into this one.
First off, taking care of the ball, and that was pretty evident in the first half. I think we only had 4 turnovers, 3 in the first quarter. So taking care of the ball is huge, obviously, making them score in the half court as opposed to getting the runouts that we aided them with last game. And so our mindset was right coming out. Came out with the right focus, physicality, flipped, and just got to muster that same energy when we come off a win as well as a loss.
Ime, we talked about Derek's aggressiveness coming in, and he scores the first 7 there. What goes into a start like that? Conversations, things he was doing in shoot-around practice, like what just kind of set him up for that start?
Well, understanding the urgency with Marcus being out and the position he's put in, obviously starting the game, going to have the ball in his hands a lot more, and wanted him to be a confident, aggressive, and he picked his spots well early on. They guard him a certain way. We told him to look for a shot, but also get downhill and facilitate, and he does that extremely well. Just happened that he got the right looks, took the shots that were there, and then started finding other guys. And so we wanted to be aggressive at all times. Talked about his jump shot may not be falling, but he does so many other things for the team, and he did that tonight.
And how is he doing? Saw him grabbing at the hamstring there at the end, and Rob, coming out and getting the wrap on the knee there.
Yeah, he said a little cramping, so Derek's fine. Rob, just precautionary as always, coming off the surgery.
Ime, you've known Derek for a while. Could you just talk a little bit about what his adjustment to this team has been like? Obviously, it's not the easiest thing to switch teams in the middle of the year, and how much as a coach you appreciate the fact that his role might fluctuate from being a very large one like it was tonight to certain games. Maybe it's not what he's used to and what he had in San Antonio, but he still seems to handle it well either way.
Yeah, he's been great. Part-time starter when guys are out. He checks so many boxes for us, and like I said, it's not only things that show up on the stat sheet with the scoring, but he's the guy that moves the ball extremely well, defends extremely well, multiple positions. So all those things he does for us, we don't lose a lot with certain guys in or out. With him, it was just a matter of understanding who we are here, the difference from San Antonio, where Pop is on him about not fouling. I want us to be a little more aggressive and don't mind taking a foul or two. And so he has to kind of shift his mindset as far as that. And I've tried to get him up to speed with what everybody else is doing. It's going to take some time, but couldn't be more happy with him being here and what he brings to our team.
After last game, Al said that Miami played like a wounded animal and you guys didn't have a sense of urgency. First game, he comes out and strips Bam. How was just him bringing that sense of urgency huge for you guys?
Yeah, I think it was everybody. The focus was great tonight. We understood we have to be more aggressive and physical on the defensive end. Bam got to go in last game, and guys take that personal. So to hold their guys, nobody scored in double figures with their starters. I think we obviously set the tone right there. But we have a prideful team, one of the best defensive teams in the league, and as well as individuals. And they heard some of the things that were said and took pride in those matchups. And so came out with the right mindset, but have to duplicate that Game 5 coming off a win as opposed to only when we lose it.
Ime, Jason finished with his most free throws made and attempts the whole postseason tonight. Is that something you preached to him coming into this game, to go to attack the rim more and get to the line more?
Just being aggressive. They are really crowding our guys on the perimeter, and said sometimes you just have to break the play and be aggressive and get downhill. He did that from the start. And then they went to smaller lineups where they don't have a lot of rim protection there. So we were really trying to get to the paint and attack. And obviously getting 14 or 16 free throws for him is huge, but continue to make the right play. They're going to try to take some charges. If Adebayo's not in the game, there's not a lot of rim protection, but he still has to make plays for others, and he did that tonight.
And obviously the big thing with this team is how resilient you guys have been in bounce-back wins. But how do you take it from being resilient to being consistent going into the next game?
Yeah, understand what's on the table. This is a 3-game series now, and can't always just flip the mindset when we come off a loss and get a little desperate. And the guys talked about that in the locker room now. We've obviously been here before to string some games together and come out with the right mindset like we did tonight. Obviously, it was apparent the difference. We understand we don't want to go down 3-1, and so guys came out with that physicality. It was almost like it flipped from what Miami did to us last game, and obviously you saw that in the start. But understanding it's a long series, a lot of ebbs and flows, but we want to be who we've been all year. It was a physical, aggressive defense, attacking on offense, and not wait for us to get down to kind of muster up that energy.
Ime, you guys only shot, I think, 39%, 25% from 3, and this game was still never in doubt. How encouraging was it from your standpoint to that you guys were able to execute in other parts of the games there and kind of maintain control the whole way.
Yeah, we said that it wasn't our best offensive night, but defensively we were obviously elite tonight for the most part. Guarded their three-pointer shooters very well. Like I mentioned, 18 points from their starters, so we came out the right focus on that end. And we got room to grow still, and that's the thing with us. We can always rely on our defense. We've won several games this year doing that when our shots aren't falling, and to hold them to, in the 30s for 3.5 or basically 3 quarters. High-level defense, and we can do that even if our shots are not falling. It's just mainly taking care of the ball, not letting them get anything easy, and kind of wearing on them mentally.
Ime, you mentioned the ebbs and flows of a long series. There's been some wild point differential swings from game to game. To what do you attribute that to? And is it anything more than just the team that lost coming out with more aggression in the next game?
Yeah, I mean, I would say the urgency from the team that's coming off that loss. Obviously, we had some really bad quarters, but had been overall consistent before that. And so we want to be, it's an inconsistent series from both teams at times. And it's an odd one, honestly. When you look at some of the numbers tonight, the way we didn't shoot or play offense that great and, having a 30-point lead. So did what we did defensively and now have to do it again. It's been a back-and-forth series, even in the same game at times, 39-18 quarter, 39-14 quarter, when they really hurt us. And so we want to be more consistent overall, move the ball and understand how they're guarding us, but maintain our defensive identity that we had all year.
Wrap it up right there. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
18-1 and constantly chasing yourself, or was there something fundamentally throughout that put your team at a deficit?
Yeah, I mean, they came out and jumped us. I think probably more than anything, our offense, really hurt us at the beginning. We just weren't getting the kind of purposeful execution, that you need to on the road. And then they were able to just kind of get some relief points from that, and then get to the free throw line, and they jumped out to that lead, and it just kind of, that was the story for the rest of the game. We're not making any excuses. They outplayed us tonight for sure. We never could get any kind of grip on the game, outside of these like crazy runs, you have two really competitive teams. The scores and that kind of thing doesn't really give the true indication of how competitive it is, and it can get away from either team at any time, and that's what you saw tonight.
In the first half, at least, it looked like the shots you were getting weren't really your shots. There wasn't much at the rim, not in the corners. Did they change something to take away the shots you want to get?
Yeah, I mean, they did a better job, of getting into us and, rotating, guys into the paint. Similar coverage to the other night. I think just a little bit more purposeful, on their end. A few more extra efforts, and then we didn't, do things with great intention after that first trigger. We just kind of settled in and. Just took the first available contested shot, and against a great defense like they have, or conversely against us, if you fall prey to that, you're just gonna feel like you're in quicksand, and so we weren't able to impact them, on the other end defensively without fouling. There were times where we were aggressive, but we were fouling too much, and they were able to pretty much dictate the shots, even if it was early in the clock or halfway through the clock. We just didn't really execute with purpose, and we paid the price for that.
Eric, was there any sense you got from Jimmy or the training staff that the knee affected him tonight?
No, we just got outplayed tonight. We got guys that love competition, love these kind of moments, the playoffs, and this is part of the playoffs. There's extreme highs, extreme lows. A lot of emotion. You just have to stay the course, stay together. And what you're looking at is a great series. It's 2-2. You have to embrace that and come together, and hopefully this competition brings out the absolute best in all of us.
Eric, 3 of your best offensive players are hurting, and they have a great defense. Is that concerning to you going forward?
No, we're not making any excuses. You know, our guys love competition, and our team has proven that we have a bunch of different ways that we can find a solution to get a win. We can do it in the mud. We can win it ugly. We can win it when the floodgates come open, you know, hitting threes. We can do it with, you know, Jimmy taking over a game. We can do it when he's facilitating. You know, we have the mental fortitude and the collective toughness, you know, to be able to embrace what we have. It's just a very competitive, good series. This is what you want, and they got the best of us tonight. We'll take this hit, you know. We'll do this together, and then we'll get back to Miami and get ready for Game 5.
Eric, Bam Adebayo had what looked like a sort of a breakout game last game. Tonight, what was the difference with him? Was it him? Was it his teammates? Was it with the opponents?
It's really tough, you know, to really evaluate. We were just so poor, you know, to start that game. And a lot of it was our offensive execution, the lack of doing it with force and intention and purpose. And then we dug ourselves a hole, and then at that point we couldn't get back and get a grip on this game. And that you have to credit Boston. You know, they took control of it early, and you know, I wouldn't single out any of like you could pick any player on our roster. You know, we're built to really flourish together and utilize all of our menu and our weapons, and certainly Jimmy and Bam and Kyle and Tyler, they drive a lot of those first triggers, but we did a lot of things poorly offensively.
Oh, your coach. Nights like this certainly can happen in the playoffs, but you just mentioned that your players love competition. Just how disconcerting is it to have a game like this?
This is nothing about a matter of want. I understand the narratives, and you can easily point to, you know, they had desperation and urgency and we didn't. You know, you can say that whoever's coming off of a loss is now for sure having, you know, more of an edge. You know, sometimes when you have two really competitive teams, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a one-point game. It means that it can be flammable either way. Both teams are ignitable. Both teams can really defend and get teams out of their comfort zone and distort a lot of things offensively, and that can fuel big runs, you know, on the other end. And we just weren't able to get that, you know, tonight. They were, and so we have to just get ready for Game 5 and get ready for the next competition. Our guys want this. You know, it's not a matter of that. It's just a matter of you're facing good competition. We all have to collectively find a way to figure this out together.
Were you expecting Jason Tatum to, after as rough a game as he had in Game 3, to kind of get it going? Was it a matter of just trying to contain him tonight?
The toughest part was, you know, he was able to get into gaps, get angles and draw fouls. You know, that was the toughest part. He was able to get into a good rhythm, you know, just by seeing the ball go in from the free throw line quite a bit. And it wasn't like the explosions that he's had after some of the losses, you know, previously in the playoffs. It was more about living at the free throw line and being able to get us off out of position.
Spo, we obviously don't know what's going to happen with Tyler in the next couple of days, and Jimmy's dealing with what he's dealing with. What makes you confident that the offense will be able to find its way moving forward into Game 5?
Well, we've proven, you know, that we can do it. Like I said, the margin for error, either team, you know, whatever they've done to us, we can do to them. You know, and none of us are happy about what happened tonight. You know, this is part of the playoffs. There are these extreme highs and lows, particularly when you have two teams that are pretty closely evenly matched. But we've proven that we can find solutions offensively in a lot of different ways. We can be much better than we were tonight, even against a very good defense, and I know for a fact we can be better defensively. And overall, our collective competitive will, we can do some things that can make the other team look a little sideways as well. Okay, thank you.
Bam, as a group tonight, was it only a question of not making shots, or were there other things you all did not do collectively that bothered you?
For me, I feel like it was the free throws and the rebounds. I feel like we let them get a lot of offensive rebounds, a lot of offensive rebounds, and then we sent them to the line a lot.
You had 2 shots in the first half. Did they do anything differently defensively with you? Did they send more attention your way?
Yeah, that's the playoffs. Make adjustments, and then and they adjust it. So next game we gotta adjust, watch film, and then get back to Miami.
Questions?
Bam, what was it like at least to have Vic try to keep you close with the kind of start he had when there was still a chance early on? How nice was it to see someone come in, at least someone provide a spark?
I mean, like I said earlier, after shoot-around, he's just being successful in his role, and he's been doing that night in, night out. We can't take anything from him. He was definitely a spark that was keeping us in the game.
Bam, given all the injuries you guys are dealing with, what do you think you need to do to get the offense turned around as a group?
I mean, injuries is a part of this. It's a part of the playoffs. You learn to adapt. We're one of those teams. We've had so many injuries throughout the season that, we've learned how to win. Guys being out, guys playing, half, guys playing, 20 minutes in the game. Just depends. You just got to find a way to win.
How do you guys, in the first couple games, the free throw disparity was not this. How do you guys flip it in Game 5?
I think we just got to get in the paint more. Figure out the way they're calling the game, and then adjust to that. I feel like that took away, sending them to the line, that took away a lot of our physicality.
Thanks, Ben.
Black Lives Matter, people.
As seasoned veterans of the playoffs, you've seen these before, maybe you've endured some of these before. What's the next step after one of these, individually and then collectively as a team, for both of you, please?
I don't think we need to worry about individuals. I think we need to figure out how to win as a team. That's the most important thing. Figure out how to get stops as a team, how to score as a team, and continue to do everything as a team.
I think we go get on an airplane and go home and, get recovery and look at the film the next day and get ready to play.
Hey, Jimmy, what is your concern level on your knee, and how has it impacted you the last 2 games?
I'm straight. No excuse for how I played tonight. It don't got nothing to do with my knee. I just got to be better. Will be better. I'm not too worried about it.
Guys, is there just no concern just because you all know what you can do as a team? You've obviously come back from losses before, so is there no real concern tonight, even though obviously you're not thrilled with the result?
I mean, there's always concern, right? There's always concern on how the game went about, but we can't dwell on what happened. We got to figure out how to get better, move on to the next situations. They came on, they played better than us tonight. They protected their home court. We didn't do what we wanted to do tonight. Can't dwell on too much. Let it hurt, let it sting, and move forward. Stay positive because we still have another game in one day.
Jimmy, as a team, you guys only took 3 shots at the rim in the first half. Was that something they were doing well, or was the offense not really operating as intended?
I think that's on us. I think we settled for way too many mid-range jump shots, myself included. A lot of shots behind the three that weren't even good ones at that. I mean, ain't nothing more other than that. We got to move the ball around and get it to the open guy, let that guy make the play, and live with what we get out of it. But I just think we just got to be better.
Jimmy, to that point, we still don't know what's going to happen with Tyler over the next couple of days. If he stays out, what do you think you have to do to get the offense in rhythm without him?
Move the ball, get it from one side to the other, keep the game extremely simple. Whenever we tend to do that, we tend to play well. When anybody tries to hit a home run and do it by themselves, we kind of get in trouble. Ball sticks. We turn the ball over, we take a bad shot. We just need to do everything together like we've been doing all year long. And it'll be on myself, on Kyle, on Bam to make sure that we make that happen.
Jimmy, is there anything you guys could do more to get to the foul line, which obviously then also helps you guys set your defense? Is there something they're doing specifically, or not talking about officiating, talking about playing style?
I didn't say nothing to the sorts. Yeah, I think we just got to be more physical. Like I said, when you shoot a lot of jump shots, which we tended to do, if that's a word, tonight, it's hard getting to the free throw line. I think we have to be more of the forceful type team, getting in the paint, not shying away from contact and playing from the inside out. So, whenever we do that and not shoot as many jumpers, we might get fouled a little bit.
All right, guys, thank you.
Oh, shit. All right. Don't worry. Appreciate it.
Hey, Rob. How did it feel just to be out there, and how did your, knee feel after playing 20 minutes?
Obviously, a great feeling of being out there, being back with my guys. And the knee felt great, feels good. Obviously, just check on it tomorrow, see how it's feeling, recovery-wise.
Hey, Rob, can you explain what's been going on with the knee? Where's the pain? What's been happening?
Yeah, it's just swelling a little bit, stiffening up on me a little. Taking it day by day, spending a lot of time with the trainers, obviously, throwing a lot of scenarios at it, see how I respond.
Feel like you're going to be able to play in this next game, or is it just wait and see?
Like I said, we usually wait till the next day to see if it's swelling or anything. Like I said, though, coming out of this game, no doubts in my head. I feel good playing.
Rob, does the travel affect it at all? It seems like coming off of plane rides.
I don't know. It might, but like I said, we'll keep doing everything we can, to make sure I get out there.
And what determines it for you? Is it just a pain tolerance thing, or is it what you're able to do on it?
Not necessarily pain tolerance, because once you have an injury, it's rare that you feel no pain, so it's just reading if I'm limited to doing certain things, so I don't want to have a lot of limitations when I'm out there.
Obviously, you back is a big difference, but why were you guys able to get off to that start that you did tonight?
Honestly, because we lost last game, I feel like that's how every team is. We need to work on being better, in that aspect. We shouldn't have to get punched in the mouth to respond. That's just my opinion, but proud of my guys, how we did respond. Obviously Mr. Smart, keep saying it, but shout out to D. White again. I feel like his energy at the beginning of the game, he set the tone for a lot of us.
And then what made the difference on the boards? It was drastically different as well.
Just upping the effort and everything. We felt like last game they destroyed us, obviously on the board, so we just wanted to up the effort all around.
Rob, what was your, kind of following up what Abby was saying, what was your mindset as a team defensively coming into this one, and what did you like that you guys did so well defensively, especially in that first quarter?
Covering for each other, being in our spots, being where we were supposed to be. Last game, even though I didn't play, I noticed the slip-ups that we had on the defensive end, and it's where we hang our head at. And as far as energy-wise, the loss obviously played a big part of the energy going into this game, but, being without Smart, offensively and defensively, is tough on us. Going back to a shout-out to D. White, I feel like he took that challenge.
And Rob, in this game, what did you guys do right to eliminate the paint, especially in the first half where the Heat were held to about 3 shots right around the rim, and you guys are really eliminating that area?
Just going back to the last question, being where we're supposed to be, when we're supposed to be there, not reacting late, trying to slide over late, you know what I'm saying? Sticking to the defensive plan and holding each other accountable, being able to take criticism, keep pushing.
Against Milwaukee, the Celtics didn't really lob it to you very often, using the dunker spot you usually are. In this series, what is it about the way Miami defends, whether it's Lowry or their guards under the rim, or just the way they play zone, that allows you to be a weapon that way?
Yeah, just taking advantage of mismatches. You may have one on the wing, you may have one on the block. It's just they're giving us reads. We got to make the right play. I don't necessarily think it's something a team is doing different. It's just you can never take everything away. So when they give you the read, make the simple play.
Rob, you mentioned Derek. Shoot around, he was really talking about getting aggressive, said that's what he wanted to do. He said coaches were talking to him, you guys were talking to him. Just what have you kind of been saying to him, his teammates, to get him out of the funk that he's been in?
Just letting him know he can be comfortable with us, most of all. Letting him know he's welcome. I tried to do that since the day he got here. It's hard, especially in the middle of the season, coming to a team. You see guys laughing, joking, playing. You the new guy. You know what I'm saying? So I just try to let him know, we're thankful for him. You're welcome to this brotherhood. Speak up when you see something. Don't be scared. And like I said, man, I feel like he set the tone for us defensively early in the game.
What kind of things do you have to do to make a guy feel comfortable? Is it just talking to, what goes into that?
Man, it's just reaching out, Everybody need a shoulder to lean on sometimes, so just reach out as much as possible. Man. I may just ask him what he ate for breakfast every morning, so little stuff like that.
Yes, speaking of Derek, did you know he was going to name his son Hendrix as well?
Yeah, so that's the first thing he told me when he seen me.
Really?
He just kind of walked up to me like, hey, bro, I'm sorry. but it's a nice name, so.
Is this the first time your son has been to a game?
No, this is like the 3rd game. This is the first time he been on the court. He actually should have been asleep, but.
How nice is it? How cool is it to share these moments with him?
I'm just thankful, doing something I love to do, obviously. Even though he don't know what's going on, just having him out there, create memories for him to look back on, be like, my dad did this, my dad was out there, I was out there. So.
Wrap it up right there.
Thank you.
Horford another rebound, finds Jalen.
Vic, it was so crazy at the start. What was it like to come in, for you finally to see the ball go through for your team when you hit that shot? And what was it like for you to try to keep things afloat that maybe there might be a comeback?
Just being aggressive, kind of start off slow, just try to come in and give us a little boost. So fortunately, we couldn't really get it going tonight, but it's a 7-game series for a reason, so got to take care of home court, Game 5.
Vic, what a strange series of just these wild runs, and even though it's 2-2, there have been very few lead changes in this series. How do you explain this wildness of this series?
I don't know how to explain it. It's wild, right? I'm not really sure how to explain it, but just got to continue to keep improving, continue to keep playing hard, and figure out ways to win.
Vic, there's a real free throw disparity, especially in the recent games. Jimmy was here saying when you shoot jump shots, you don't get free throws. You're an aggressive player by nature. What can you guys do to try to get more of, I guess, those easy points by getting to the line?
I guess sell it more. Just continue to keep attacking, putting pressure on them and the refs, and hopefully, we can get some of those calls. But, we just got to continue to do a better job collectively and with everything on both ends of the floor.
Vic, I don't know what the score was when you got into the game, but when your first shot went in, it was 18-1 at that point. Did it feel like things were getting away from you guys, or was there something that you saw early that just made it feel like this just wouldn't be a night where everything comes together?
It's hard to tell. Got to go back and watch the film to answer that question, but unfortunately, we didn't have a great start, and we couldn't really come back from it. So, but it's just another game, another loss, and like I said before, it's a 7-game series. So, on to the next one. We got to get ready for Game 5.
Any other questions? Does it feel like the games don't carry over from one to the next? That you said you have to get ready for the next one. Each game in this series has been wildly different than the second one.
Yeah.
You just have to flush the good ones and the bad ones?
I mean, you got to take it one game at a time. I mean, you are correct. I mean, you got to flush any game you just played and get ready for the next one. It's a 7-game series. So you can't really relax until you get 4 to 7. So, like I said, we got to get ready for Game 5 and watch the film, learn from this, and get ready for the next one.
First 7 points. What kind of things did you see him doing? What kind of things were you guys telling him just to kind of get him out of that funk he was in?
Just to be himself. Obviously, we knew that how important this game was. And everybody just had to come out with a different sense of urgency to start the game on both ends of the floor.
Rob was talking about just trying to make him feel comfortable in Boston. Have you kind of noticed at times just him, being passive and just being tentative since he got here? And, in what ways do you just try to encourage a guy like that?
Obviously, Rob been dealing with some knee things. So just keeping his spirits lifted and his confidence high, and everybody just being there for him. Because we know how hard he works and how bad he wants to, be out there to help us. And obviously, how much we need him and things like that.
Jason, when you guys have gotten in trouble in this series, it's been when Miami's been able to speed you up and get into you and turn the ball over. How much of a focus was that coming in tonight to try to take care of the ball? I think you only had 3 in the first half and none in the second quarter.
Yeah, I mean, we had, 24 turnovers last game. We really felt like that. That's why we struggled a lot last game. And that was obviously something that we talked about in film and things like that. Just trying to take care of the ball and be better in that aspect.
Jason, what's the last 48 hours been like for you? I mean, you were obviously disappointed after your performance in Game 3. Did you talk to anybody that you usually don't talk to? Did people console you? What was the last 40 hours like when you have a game like that?
I mean, right after it's tough, right? Frustrated how you played, knowing that, how important this time of the year is, and feeling like you let your teammates down, especially we lost by like 6. But I think I do a really good job of, after I sleep it off, regardless if I have 10 points or 46 points, the next day is the next day, and whatever happened. I'm a big believer you can't change what happened. So, the last 40 hours have been cool. I watched some basketball, ate, just a normal day. Obviously I was ready to get back to play, but I didn't doubt myself. I know how to play basketball, and regardless of how many points I scored, just trying to come out and help us get a win, that was just most important.
Jason, how much does Ime have to do with you guys being able to bounce back like this? And just you guys seem to really have a great deal of trust in him. What is it about him that gives you that trust in him? I
think just building a relationship, throughout the season and the ups and downs that we've had. that all brought us a lot closer. And, you know, just grinding it out. Everybody stuck with each other throughout the season, even in those tough times early on. And even when we lose games, you know, he does a really good job of just, you know, obviously, you know, telling us what we did wrong and what we need to do better, but, you know, making sure everybody believes in ourselves and the group and getting ready for the next one.
His directness and his transparency, is that, I mean, that's been here from the beginning. Do you like that consistency?
Yeah, he holds everybody accountable from the top to the bottom, and you know, open door policy. You know, do the same with him and the coaches, and I think that just great for the group and what we're trying to accomplish.
Hey, Jason, you were 14 for 16 from the line. How much of that was just the flow of the game, and how much of that was a focus on your part just to get to the line?
I think just being aggressive, right? Obviously from last game, whether it was for myself, teammates on the defensive end, just have a different burst of energy for myself. And it led to, you know, free throws and finding other guys for open shots and things like that.
Jason, how do you bring the same sense of urgency to Game 5 that you did to get this game after a loss like the last one?
I think obviously it's 2-2, so it's kind of like a new series, best of 3. And I think just having a conversation that, you know, I think human nature plays a part in when you win a game, you can relax a little bit. But, you know, obviously when we lose a game, you know, we feel like the next game is do or die. And then we come out and play how we did and things like that. And I think we have to have that mindset going into Game 5 that, you know, it is a must-win game, you know, because tonight was essentially something like that. And, you know, everybody knew it. We could all feel it. And I think that showed in the way we came out.
You start out with an 18-1 lead, and yet you know the game is not going to be over just in the nature of the way this series is. How do you keep that intensity so early in the game when you're up so big and you know that Miami could push back?
That is you know, these playoff games are extremely long. And they're a really good team. And, you know, we was down 21 the other day. We cut it to 1. So, you know, we know that you can't let up, you know, until it's, you know, the buzzer is out. Because, you know, they hit shots in the fourth quarter. They start hitting threes. So you never want to take your foot off the gas, especially in a playoff game.
Jason, ball security, rebounding, physicality, are those adjustments, or is it just a matter of effort and urgency?
Urgency. That was a focal point coming into this game. Was just, you know, have a sense of urgency on both ends of the floor from start to finish. Really starting the game better, obviously, than we did last game. And that's something that we talked about and something that we executed tonight.
And then just for you, as many minutes as you've been playing, how nice was it to get some time off in the fourth quarter tonight?
It was extremely nice, especially because we was winning.
Thank you, Jason. All right, questions for Derek? Right inside, Derek, Dan Roach.
Hi, Derek. You had said this morning that you wanted to be more aggressive. Certainly starting the game with the team's first 7 points. How good did that feel for you, and was that your mindset coming in for the rest of the game?
Yeah, I said it this morning. If I was going to fail, I was going to do it aggressively and just try to get back to how I play, and obviously get off to a good start and then just try to just keep it going for 48 minutes.
Since you got traded to Boston, Robert Williams said he's tried to go out of his way to make you comfortable. What have been the challenges, not just off the court and learning about the guys, but on the court too, being comfortable playing your game the way you've always done it with a new set of teammates that probably a little more talented than you had in San Antonio?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of get thrown in middle of the year, no training camp, nothing. They got something that they've established. We've been playing I don't know how many months together throughout the year, and so you're kind of just learning on the fly. Try not to step on any toes, which kind of sets you back personally. So from time to time, you just kind of step back, and then but the team has done a great job of just being like, nah, just be you. I mean, Smart said it to me this morning. Rob says it like, I just got to do that. So that makes it a lot easier.
Did the playoffs kind of challenge you in that way? Just the way some of the teams have been guarding you, just, you know, to try to fight through that and still be you through all that?
Yeah, I mean, each game's a little different, each series is a little different. So, I mean, the game to game, try to just stay consistent. I've had some ups and downs, but try to come into these games with the right mindset and just do whatever it takes to help us win. So whether I do well or do bad, as long as we win, I'm happy.
Derek, obviously, first-time dad, new kid, and everything like that. A lot of fans wanted to talk about that, I guess. Is there anything to like dad energy to when you play well? Or?
I hope so. I mean, he's been a super blessing to myself and my family. I can't wait to go home and see him and just hold him. I mean, it's cool just to watch him, and I'm excited to see how he grows.
Derek, right here. This is a general question, but the percentage of shots at the rim right now in this postseason are at a 20-year low. Can you just speak to how challenging it is to get to the basket in the postseason right now?
Yeah, I mean, especially this last couple series. I mean, Milwaukee had those two bigs, Giannis and Brooke, who are good rim protectors, and they were always down there. And then, obviously, this series, they're heavy shifted, making the driving lanes look congested. So, I mean, that's just kind of where the basketball has been evolving over the years. A lot more threes, less mid-range or whatever. So, it's probably going to just keep going that way for a little bit.